Yeah, no, it's fine. When Martin Brundle's finished, I'll step in. It's fine. Oh, hello. Good evening, podium chasers. I hope you are all well. Excuse that little private chat there about career moves or whatever. But yeah, welcome. Formula Racing League Super Sprint Series. It's Tuesday, so we know it's going to be absolute mayhem as it has been for the last few weeks. This entire season, really. It's been quite a journey, and I think everybody that is in this grid that you're going to see this evening has really grown to love this series and the organised chaos that it brings, really. So yeah, Formula Racing League. I mean, it's a Taco Tuesday. That would have been a mistake, wouldn't it? All the console guys would be in raptures at the moment, but no, Super Sprint Series. And this is round 7 of Series 1. This is the season finale, and we are at the rather tricky Zandvoort. Really, really tricky. And yeah, I think this is going to sort the men from the boys this evening, without a shadow of a doubt. So, what can we expect from tonight? Well, it is 2 25-minute sprint races. No mandatory stops required, so it is just complete and utter sprint from start to finish, and all the good things that's been bring with it over the last few weeks in terms of constant defending, constant attacking, just battles literally everywhere, up and down the grid, groups of cars together, and it's been, if you haven't watched any of it, go to the channel, it's on the bottom, COMMS by COOPS, and you can have a look at that particular series that's on there. Well worth it, I'll give you that. So 2 25-minute races. We have a 10-minute qualifying session before race 1 and a 10-minute qualifying session before race 2, which in itself brings, it puts them under a little pressure, let's put it that way, because if you've only got 10 minutes to get out there and set your qualifying laps, yeah, it puts them under pressure. Obviously on the PC, in terms of getting those tyre pressures into the operating window, that can take 2 to 3 laps depending on what we've got going on. Are we a green track? Are we fast? All those different things, variables need to be taken into consideration, and generally they usually get their 1 or 2 flyers. So that's why I personally see the free practice session on the Super Sprint Series is always very, very busy. So at the moment we're currently on board with Mika Finkbeiner. Been really impressed with this chap over the last 3 weeks. He's currently set the quickest time in free practice with a 1:34.905. We will of course run through all of our drivers this evening as it's the last one, and there is there's a livery in there tonight which I think everybody's going to enjoy. I'm going to go and move on to that in a moment actually, so we can just come away from that. Just go into the live chat for 2 seconds. So Fresh Jinx is in. Evening Coops, thought I would say hi before we go racing. Wow, more than welcome, mate, more than welcome. Good luck tonight. I hope you do well as always. And GT Jamie's in, having a good stream, but dropping. Oh, okay, yeah, you get and do your practice, mate. And your tacos tonight, I believe, which should be, well, you know what that's going to be, 90 minutes round Spa. If anyone gets bored of this stream, please don't, and wants to look at something else later on, the Taco Tuesday chaps on the PS5 are doing a 90-minute special at Spa, so I might finish this and jump in there. No, I won't. But yeah, so good luck to everybody this evening. If you have popped in Jamie and Jamie, please press like, chaps. You know it means the world to me. It really helps with what we're trying to do here. So good luck, all the Red Kings Motorsport boys. That's what I'm going to say on that front. So, I did say we were looking at Finkbeiner at the moment. I want to show you this new livery that has just been commissioned and put into use. Dave Goodway, aka Crazies, for the FRL fraternity that know him from the console days, one of the originals really, and then obviously a lot of us has grown and moved over to PC. Last week, his car was all white, and he was like, "My livery's not showing." I was like, "Well, I don't think the software we use had synced properly." So I had a look at it, and he says, "I want to get noticed on the stream." Well, I think, Dave, in your 34 McLaren with that particular livery, no one is going to miss you. Let's put it that way. And I do like it, but there's no COMMS by COOPS on there. It's a shame. It's a shame. But yeah, so Dave's currently 4th in free practice. So ignore the time at the top there in terms of 1 hour and 2 minutes. It's not. Obviously, qualifying will begin in 10 minutes' time. we've currently got, it's sunny, it's 22 degrees ambient and 25 on track, so they're all nice temperatures in terms of these guys being able to stretch their legs and let those horses develop as they need to. We do have, in terms of the championship, let's have a quick look at the table. So Eli, again, if you've watched us, if you're new to us, stick around, you're going to see some fantastic racing, absolutely fantastic racing. So Eli's currently second on that list, a second behind Mika, but Eli's leading that championship. It's on 525 points. Remember, it's double header every week, so there's 2 lots of points up for grabs. Harry Goswell, who drives the Mercedes, is currently second in the championship on 349 points, so there is an outside chance, probably not actually, I think Eli's got that sign on, but Harry was a bit gutted last week when we was having a chat, because I mean his pace is, I've been very impressed with his pace in his Mercedes, in the number 8 Mercedes. He's down there in 19th at the moment, but last week just the nerves, him and that car, they did not click, and yeah, he didn't have a great result last week. He finished 23rd and 20th in the 2 respective races, so that's probably put pay to his particular championship hunt. Chris Schneider is in 3rd place in the championship in the BMW. He's on 345 points, so we do have, you know, potential for people to move up within those podium places. Kerekes is 4th on 330. John Beaton in his Aston is in 5th on 302 points. Dave Goodway, who are currently watching and, well, we're admiring, aren't we, that livery, but give it some airtime, otherwise it'll kill me. He's in 6th place on 294 points. And then we've got Sokolov, 7th on 272 in his Lambo. Garafullin, he's not in, he's disqualified, obviously. Okay, so he's not involved, so that doesn't count. Soldatov is 9th on 258. Then we've got Payne in the Bentley. Now, again, every week he seems to be a pain in a lot of people's, you know, proverbial derrieres, just in terms of the battles, not into driving. He's always in some great battles, so I think everyone's starting to get used to the different drivers and what they bring to the table, which is exactly what we want. Dow's in 11th place on 239, and then Tadima in the Porsche, she's 12th on 228. Michael Races 13th on 212. He's not racing this evening. He's obviously going to go back over with the PS5 boys, which is a shame really. Albuquerque's in 14th on 211 points. And then we've got another DSQ, Cameron Martin, everyone will know that name, in 16th on 197. Junior Hughes, aka Lock and Load, is in 17th on 194. He's only been with us for 2 rounds, remember, so again, these are really good, you know, showing the standard of driving we've got. Keddy's in 18th on 192. Van Rees is 19th on 191. Then we've got Latinauskis, who is driving this evening on 187. He's missed the last 2 rounds, but he is in tonight, which is great. Finkbeiner, who we were watching earlier on, is 21st on 184 points, and then Michael Herbort is 22nd with 172. Vartox is 23rd with 171. Manum, who's not with us, I don't think, this evening, has been the last couple of rounds though, 24th on 164 points. Sergio's 25th on 158, and then we've got Manetskovsky, who's got DSQ. Michael Thomas, interesting, thought he was racing tonight, on 157. Siran is 28th. Then we've got Ian Thompson 29th. Brecht Wilms, aka Cascanova, is 30th on 144. James Williams 31st on 137. And then we've got Robin Taylor 122. Ivanov, Woodward, Scrace, and then a bunch of people who have been disqualified for not turning up to races, which is fair enough. Petrovic is still in there. And I think we've got a new bit. Well, Serkan Duran obviously has joined us for the last couple of rounds. Our man Duran, you won't miss his Lamborghini, believe me, when you see that, on 34 points. Sean Freeman, again, he's only done 1 round with us, but it's great to see him. He's only recently come over onto PC, so good to see him back involved with us here at FRL. And where is the other one? And Jan Bart, Bart, please correct me. We saw what happened last week, didn't we? In terms of Vilheine. And one of his followers. So Jan's just joined us as well, had a little chat with him today, so great to see you racing in the Porsche. We will see how that all develops. Quick jump into the live chat. Kino's in. Evening Coops, have a great stream, mate. Thank you, Kino, really appreciate that. I will do my best to keep my eye on all of this action and keep you entertained as well. Are you not driving this? Are you on PS5 this evening, Kino? Let me know. And Mika's in. Hello, Coops. I'm very well, Mika, hope you're well. A nice time there at the front. I'm hoping, well, I'm assuming that you're enjoying that Porsche round there. Traction Dave, he's back. Traction's back. If you watched him last week, he absolutely smashed it at Laguna, had an incident, and then drove his way back through the field. Really, really strong pace last week, and I know he'll be keen to get something similar done tonight. So, good luck, Mika. Good luck, Traction. Let's run through those guys before. Let's change who we're watching at the moment. Because Dave, that's it, you threw it off the track at that point. Let's have a look at Armand Duran. I did say you wouldn't miss his Lambo at Clueless Racing. And you'll also remember last week, I did say that his team, Clueless Racing, and Chris Vinan, he runs in a different competition, they're the two best race teams that we've got in terms of irony, because Chris Vinan is in another massive accident, and it says it all, doesn't it, really? So there's Duran running at the moment. I'm sure we're going to tick over. I think we've got 4 minutes left. Latanowskis, there we go. I don't think I've commentated on Latanowskis before, so this will be a good one. PR Motorsports and a 323 Ferrari there. And as a track, I mean, Zandvoort, I think Zandvoort suits the Porsche. Yeah, I think it suits the Ferrari as well. It'll probably suit the Audi. I know all those cars will try and kill you in a second, but the Zandvoort really lends to good directional changes, being nimble, because, you know, if you haven't driven the track, we will do a full lap guide once we get into qualifying. But I'm assuming most of you will have, at some point, if you do sim racing, will have attempted Zandvoort. And she is a really technical, twitchy. Let me just pull up the track map. There you go. That's a beautiful draw. I didn't do that, nor did my son. Okay. But you can see, look, we're watching the 323 going around the track now. You can just see, apart from the start-finish straight, everything's on some form of curvature. Yeah, there's a lot of mid-speed corners here at Zandvoort, and there's some heavy braking zones as well. You've got different cambers on the track. So all of these things, again, lend to you having a car which can be nimble but subtle enough to take those elevations and be able to translate that into traction, really. And that's why I think those cars generally do pretty well. Let's get rid of that for a moment. You don't want to see that drawing, do you? Of course you don't. Right. So that is Latanowskis. Robin Taylor. Yeah, there's Robin in his Aston there, 21 Aston. So let's have a quick run through before free practice finishes of who we've got with us this evening. So Fink Liner in the 220 Porsche, Traction Dave in his 609 Porsche, Jay Hughes, which is lock alone in the 212 Beamer. You should all be getting familiar with these names and numbers now and the cars they like to drive. Eli Poe is in the 696 BMW. Chris Schneider in the 14 BMWs with us this evening. Dave Goodway we saw earlier on. That's a nice little wander across the sand there, Robin. So Goodway's in the 34 McLaren. Freeman is in the 83 Aston, and then John is also in. Is that Mr. What? Who was that coming out there? I believe that was Harry. It was Harry. Let's have a little watch of Harry Goswell in the number 8 Mercedes whilst we're running through this list. So Duran's in his 100 Lamborghini. Cameron Martin's in the 27 BMW. Again, you won't miss that one. We'll talk about these as quickly as possible during the race. Latanowskis we've just had a quick look at. Taylor's in there in the 21 Aston. We just watched him a moment ago. Evanoff is with us this evening in the 146 Aston. Sergio Oz is becoming a real ever-present, which is fantastic to see. Multiple championships in the 503 AMG. Jan Barth there in the 934. Let's have a look at Jan in the 934 Porsche. First race out with us, I believe. Wow, the colon cancer awareness team. Wow, what a fantastic team that is. What a fantastic team that is. Well, there you go. I hope you win. Lurches is in the 93 Bentley. James Williams, of course, is in his 41 AMG. Albuquerque is in the BMW 194. Dow is in his 78 Aston. He's got Scottish flags all over that thing. You'll see it a bit later on. And obviously, it's going to do that to me, isn't it, as we get into qualifying. But anyway, remember, each week, when we do this whole qualifying malarkey, I pick someone. Everyone knows that I always pick whoever's first out the bag. And watch them. So let's get around and see who it is. Who wants to be my victim this week? Eli wants to be the victim this week. Good person to have out there as well. So Who did we miss off there? We got Lurches, we got Latanowskis, we got Barthin in that, obviously in his first race was Sergio. Freeman's in, Cameron Martin, Breck Wilms is in, fantastic. Caskanova's in, Traction, Michael Herbert in his Audi. That could go quite well. We did say Ivanov as well. I believe that covered everybody. So Eli's decided, let's get out there quickly. Let's try and get those tyres in the window and let's try and pump in a couple of laps. Dow's in. Hello, Dow. No, taking a break from tacos for now. Rest of the season. Want the update now, really, mate. I know. I get you, dude. I get you. I even considered letting Dylan look at the PS5 today. Times are bleak. How is Coops Poops? Dow, Coops Poops is fine. Thank you for asking in such a nice way. Michael Races has popped in and said, have fun, chaps. I'm sure they will. I'm sure they'll be glad you're not there, Michael, for want of a better reason. Light Blades in the evening. Got my pom-poms ready to cheer on the DJC boys. Yeah, good evening, Lightblade. Hope you are well. I'm sure Mr. Lock and Load will appreciate that, no doubt. And Christopher Gedman is in saying hello as well. So, guys, you have 9 of us watching at the moment as Eli crosses the line to start his first flyer. I've only got 4 likes, so I know you can all read. It says it at the bottom of the screen. Yeah, please press like. Please press like. You know what? You know how it is. When I come off my stream now, my son stays up and he's like, "Daddy," and I'm like, I have to tell him how many people said like. But I appreciate that, and obviously, guys, all have a good chat in the live chat amongst yourselves as well. I'll try and pop in as much as I can, but as you will be aware, this thing gets a little bit racy. So let's pop on board. Let's have a look at what it feels like in the Beamer to do a lap around Zandvoort. Remember I was saying earlier on in terms of the technicality of this track and how tight and twisty it is in sections, but then it opens up as well, so you've got to really be finely balanced. Now I don't know if the Beamer is the best car for this particular track. We will find out. We know the Beamer is strong, yeah, we can't deny that, but I think Porsches, Ferraris, Audis, McLarens, I think you need a little bit of a little bit of. Hold on, just get a sidetrack there. I'm turning my head. I'm not even driving, am I? Right, so Traction Dave there, and the bright yellow Porsche gets out of the way. Okay, so what is Eli going to post with the first one out of the bag? Right, so straight down the start finish straight. We're going to do a lap guide as well. So up towards T1, it's a medium right hander, so you've got to get hard on the brakes. We need to trail in. You need to be hooking up that curb, get the car as straight as possible, plant it, and then we're looking to take this curb on the left hand side. It's going to give us a nice line through the right hand side. You've got to be careful. If you touch that curb there, it's going to spit you out. When the ACC sign ends there, that's your braking point. You get the car turned in, you want a nice apex there, use the external curb, that's nice, and then we want to straight line this as much as possible. So we're going to use all of the road. We're not going to take too much of the curbs though, because that's going to make the car bump, especially this one here. We look for the orange on the left. We're going to hit on the brakes there, down the gear, get the car tucked in, just let it roll slightly, and then we're going to push. Slight kick in the road on the left, down the gear, get it. You've got to be brave there. It's a bit like Mazzano on that right-hander, and then we're looking for the traffic lights on the right-hand side. There's an indication of our turning point again. Pushing on the throttle, we're looking for the orange on the fence there. That's your braking point, down the gear, get it tucked in, apex, take a bit of curb, use all the exit curb, and now we've got a little bit of a tricky section. So we're going to pull the car across onto the left-hand side, and then just before the curb stops, we're going to get hard on those brakes because we've got a really tricky right-left-hander here. Not a lot of cars get stopped in time. I have driven the Beam around here, and she does have very, very good brakes, which helps in that scenario. And then up to the final 2 corners, so we're just going to scrub off a bit of speed, get the car tucked in. As soon as you feel a grip up, push. Easy to invalidate on the left-hand side. Got to be careful there, and then we're really going to push. Some cars will have to do a tiny lift there, but Eli, fantastic driver, onto the start-finish straight. And away we go. And is he going to improve? So he was 6.9 off. He does improve. Goes provisional second place. P2 there. Provisional P3 with that lap because Lock and Load has just put in a very, very good time to go provisional second. So Finkbeiner carrying on his pace. I don't want that car. What is that? That's horrible. So Finkbeiner's continuing that pace from free practice with a 1:34.587, closely followed by Lock and Load. I say closely followed, that's nearly a second gap, so he's just improved That is a pretty impressive lap by him. So Hughes is in second place. There we go. There's Junior Hughes, run DJC. This is for you, Light Blade, so enjoy this one. And I did say last week, I love the livery. I really like the livery on that Beamer. So he's pushing hard to see if he can close that gap down. But a second is a big gap, as we will all be very well aware. Nothing else going on in there for now. That's fine. Got to keep checking it. Got to keep checking it. So Latanowskis has just pulled out a yellow flag there. So let's see. What are we doing, lock and load? Let's get on board from this view. And so he's chasing down Traction and Eli. You see, I thought he was going to run wide there, but who am I kidding? JR doesn't do that kind of stuff. Dave pulls out the way again. So final two corners is lock and load going to pull that lap down. We've only got 3.5 minutes left of qualifying. So what we're saying at the start, it's absolutely manic. So we'll see this one over the line, and then we'll do a quick run through of where everyone is currently in terms of their potential positions. No improvement on that one, so he may have used that as a slightly slower lap. We'll keep an eye on that. So Finkbeiner's currently in first place. We're watching lock and load at the moment. He's in provisional second. Eli's in third, over a second behind Finkbeiner. And then we've got John in his Aston, is currently fourth place, 1.1 behind. Dave Goodway in the loud, not attention seeking at all, 34 McLaren. He's currently in fifth, 1.165. So only 20 thousandths between him and John. Traction Dave, we've been watching, probably trying to get some space for a clean lap. He's currently in sixth place, 1.415 off the pace, and then Armand Giranni's 100 at Lambo is in seventh. That's fantastic. He's improved every week so far. I'm actually very impressed with him. Cameron Martin's in ninth, 1.8 off the pace. Latanowskis, we saw, did just yellow flag a little while ago. He is in 10th, a full 2 seconds off Finkbeiner's pace. That's huge. Albuquerque's 11th, just over 2 seconds. Chris Schneider's 12th in his Beamer. Chris Schneider's normally a top 4, top 5 challenger. He's 2.1 off the pace. Sergio's 13, 2.2. Ivanov's 14th, 2.3. And then we've got Freeman and Jan Barth there, 2.5 off the pace at 15th and 16th. Payne is in 17th, Williams 18th, and then Dow's in 19th, 3.5 seconds down. Woodward in the 999 McLaren, he's 20th, 3.7 down, and he is only 7 thousandths ahead of Goswell, who's 21st. And then we've got Vilms 22nd, and Herbert is 23rd. So there is a massive gap between. I mean, look at low there, has just improved his time. I'm sure he's given it everything, but he's improved by a tenth and a bit. He's still 8 tenths behind Finkbeiner. And I did say I think this track did suit the Porsche. Right, so if that is the case, I'm expecting Traction Dave. We haven't had a look at him yet. So Traction Dave from the Traction Dave Academy. If anyone wants to sign up, you need to send me the payment because I run it for him. Otherwise he'd get no exposure to the world. So that payments to COMMS by Coops, please. But Traction, he needs to get a bit of a shift on. 1.5 seconds. I don't actually think it's to do with pace. Yeah, the other really sort of big elephant in the room here is Zandvoort's a really difficult track to overtake on, because we were talking about the characteristics earlier on in free practice, and putting together a really quick lap straight out the bag and having the space to be able to do that when there's other drivers on track. Some are on push laps, some are doing a couple of push laps, some are in a warm-up phase. And with it only being a 10-minute sprint qualifying session, as I said, all these things thrown in together actually make it really, really difficult for the drivers. Bless them. Yeah, Mika, I think you should be done with qualifying. Lurchies has lost connection. Brizzle's in. Hello, Briz. Hope you're well, buddy. Lurchies, try and get back in, mate. Try and get back in. And Mika, yeah, that was impressive as Traction pulls over in 7th. So, yeah, his qualifying looks like it is most certainly done. So we need to get back on, really, with lock and load. He's still at it. He's got one more lap. He's just crossed that start-finish line into T1. So this is his last shout at that. 8 tenths is a big old ask, but those tyres should be completely perfect in that window now, given that he's done a few laps on them. So we'll see how he can get that beautiful gold and blue BMW around the track, as we've got an FRL liveried McLaren off over there. May have been it was Brecht. Oh, what's Brecht playing today? We'll check him out properly when this is done. So we're in the wait time. people have got to. So who can improve? So Hughes can improve. Goodway can improve. Martin's finished. Freeman's finished. Ah, no, Hughes pulls over. Okay, so let's get on board with Dave Goodway for FRL Racing Team. He's currently in 5th place, 1.1. So if he can find a 10th and a bit, he could put himself potentially on the 2nd row. I'm sure he would certainly love that. But we shall see. So Finkbinder's currently your... Well, this is going to be the one. Crazies. That's very naughty. Everyone was like anticipating some kind of major lap time there, and look what you did to me. Anyway, no worries. So 6 of you in so far. If you haven't said hello, please do. If you haven't pressed like, please do. If you want any shout outs, if you want any information about the drivers or anything that we're doing here at FRL, pop it in the live chat. It's all good. So there you go. Qualifying, I would suggest, is finished. Finkbeiner pole position. Well done, Mika. That was pretty good. Hughes is alongside him on the 2nd row. Let me come out of that for a moment. Let me just do that. Okay. So Finkbeiner's on pole. Hughes is alongside him in 2nd. Then Eli's 3rd. John, that's a really good qualifying session for John Lees Aston. He's 4th, but they're all over a 2nd behind. So this could be. I mean, where's Michael when you need him? Goodway's in 5th. Cameron Martin managed to get into 6th place. Traction is 7th. Taylor's 8th. Freeman's 9th. Duran is in the top 10. Great qualifying from Duran there. Chris Schneider's 11th. Latanauskas is 12th. Albuquerque 13th. Williams 14th. Sergio is in 15th. Ivanov starts 16th. With Payne just around the corner there. And then we've got Bath 18th, Woodward 19th, Lurches is 20th if he can get back in. I know he's just had a disconnection. Goswell, not going to be happy with that. Last week he said he was going to practice like crazy for this race. I hope he did. Dow's in 22nd, and then Michael Thomas in the 911 Porsche is 23rd. Brett Wilms is 24th, and Michael Herbold is in 25th place. Blimey, that was a crazy qualifying session. So let's go to the live chat for a second. Oh, you're in. Good. And Cass is in. Good. Great to see you, Cass. Hope you do well tonight, mate. Don't kill anyone, metaphorically speaking. And Lurches, I'm glad you got back in. In the live chat, who do we want to start with, ladies and gents? Given this is the season finale, it's the last double header, who do we start with? Do we start with the top 2? Or do we let them crack on with it and go further back? Cameron's in. Good evening, Cameron. Hope you're well, buddy. Traction's in. Didn't leave enough space. That's what I thought. I did say that, Dave. Did say that, mate. Space is definitely at a premium on this circuit. So, any of you watching this, anybody that likes, not me, I mean, obviously you have to, anyone that likes what they're seeing in terms of the racing this evening, maybe has a look on the channel, looks at other things, have a look at the website, www.formularacinglink.co.uk. All the information is on there, all the different series that we run across PC. So we've got sprints on a Tuesday, we've got the rookie series, which is fantastic, we've got the full GT3 Fridays, we've got one-off events, endurance events, we get involved in charity events, that's all on the PC. You've then got a full, well, you've got a plethora of stuff on console, PS4 and PS5, full grids. See a lot of people on socials the last few days go, oh, people are stopping PS4 on this and that. Well, we're not, so get over to us and enjoy yourself is what I'm saying. Traction says good luck to everybody. I totally agree. Good luck. And I'm going to stop waffling for a moment and decide who we're going to go with. I'm going to go with, because he's got such a great surname and it's nothing to do with my first name, I'm going to start with Cameron Martin. What a great name. Right, so off we go. Slowly, boys, don't go too fast. So this is the formation lap. Okay, so evidently Cameron Martin for ST Racing in the number 27 BMW. You can see him there. Look at that. I mean, she is, I'd say abstract art, maybe. It does look like he got that elephant all those years ago, did that painting, just splodged a load of paint over some paper. I think that's the same thing that happened to Cameron's car, to be honest with you. Who knows? Who knows? It's all good though. It certainly looks different. So formation lap is underway. Again, same sort of thing we say every week. This is one lap for everybody to get the heat cycles into those tyres, into those brakes. We're going to make sure everything is in the correct window, because when we go lights out, I did say it's very difficult to pass around here. There's a fly that I'm going to kill in a moment, or not kill. Well, yeah, kill. It's very difficult to pass at Zandvoort, so track position is so key. Going into turn 1, bearing in mind these 2 sprint races with 25 minutes each with no pit stops, so we're not thinking about, well, okay, if I don't get my nose in front, I can maybe change my pitch straight around, or I can do something. You can't. You can't. This is just go for it. It's crazy. As you are all about to find out. Leave those marbles alone, Cameron. They're not going to do your tyres any good. Right, fingers crossed, everybody. So round 7, if you remember, so this is Series 1. I'm 100% sure there's going to be a Series 2 and a Series 3. And like most of our other series, it's just going to run and run and run because people get involved. They enjoy the driving. They really enjoy the community and the banter and the show that we put on, and we get everyone involved. And it's a very good place to be, as Formula Racing League. And once people get over here, they stay. And they do. They just stay and they want to help. But there we go. Anyway, so I think we're going to see quite a few incidents this season. I need to wet my whistle just because I'm expecting to talk a lot. Okay, so Eli Championship is already sewn up, really. So Eli can, well, enjoy himself this evening. He's not going to be challenged by Goswell, who's down in 20th place. We've got Mika and Mr. Hughes at the front. So we'll keep an eye on. Now they're all going to form up 2 by 2, as you can see. They're coming on to the start-finish straight. So the Formula Racing League Sprint Series, round 7 from Zandvoort is about to get going. Hold on to your hats, everybody. 25 minutes of fantastic racing. And we're off. We are on a green. Let's see. Right, let's get right on in with Cameron, as he's looking to make a move already on John Beaton in the Aston on the outside, but has to make sure he gives Dave Goodway some... Oh, blimey, Dave, that Macca's blinding me. Give him some space as well, so they all begin to file through. So this is what we were talking about earlier on. There's not a lot of space here. You can see he's under pressure behind him. You've got that yellow Porsche in his mirror. That's traction Dave putting some pressure on, and with traction is our man Duran and Mr. Freeman as well. So I don't think we're going to see massive gaps this evening unless there's any incidents happening. So out up front we have Mika just doing what he needs to do. So from his perspective, okay, he's blitz free practice, he's blitz qualifying, okay, so he is in the box seat. I think he's quite confident. Maybe this is one of his favourite tracks, I don't know. He needs to get 3 laps under his belt where he's hitting those markers and no mistakes, although he went deep in there, as you can see. That allowed Lock and Load to pull that gap down. He needs 3 clean laps to build himself a bit of a gap, then he can run off. That should be what his plan is, really. But this guy behind, Lock and Load, we know from, well, I know from many months of driving with him previously in Formula Racing League and then coming back over now, is a very good driver. He's not going to let him off the hook. Eli in 3rd place, well, he's competitor, battler, fantastic driver. So likewise with him, and John's been improving, actually. I know John is held in very high esteem within Formula Racing League. I think he's really growing into this particular series nicely now. As you can see, he's up into 4th place. Dave Goodway, aka Crazies, again, multiple champion on console, multiple champion on console. Came over to PC a few weeks ago. I've been getting into it, and you can see he's now starting to understand the different physics and tyre dynamics from PC, from coming across from the PS5. You can see the proofs in the pudding there. He's up to 5th. Cameron Martin in the colourful BMW 6th place. Currently, Traction Dave, qualified 7th, is currently still in 7th place in his rather bold looking Porsche there, 609. Duran, again, as I said before, I'm impressed with Duran. Really impressed. Like, it's night and day, really, from the first session that he had with us. Doing really well there. Freeman's in 9th place, and Chris Schneider is just trying to make a challenge there. He thought about it, but nearly got his nose chopped off. So let's go and have a little look at that one. seeing as it's nice and close behind. We've got Letonowskis is in 11th, the red Ferrari behind. Then we've got James Williams up in 12th in Albuquerque, so we'll check that out as well. Looks like we've got a little gaggle of individuals there that are all looking to come together. So, you know, everyone's now going to try and settle in. I say that every Tuesday. You can't really settle in a 25-minute sprint race with this level of talent sat around you and talking about you. Right, so those two, that gap has elongated slightly. So Mika's pulled out a second gap, and then we've got three quarters of a second back to Eli, 3/4 of a second back to John, and a second back to Dave. Cameron Martin's the closest one up top at the moment. He's only 3/10. So let's have a quick gander at that one, shall we? So he's got good way in front, traction behind him, and we know he's got good speed. Yeah, and he was saying, he actually said in the live chat, didn't he? He didn't have enough space between him and the guy in front, so he could really nail a qualifying lap, which I believe certainly did. So he's involved in this three-way battle at the moment. So Chris Schneider's 10th, Latinowskis is in 11th, James Williams. Let's have a look at our James, shall we? Let's have a look at James in 41 AMG. He's got 28 cars behind him. I'm joking, James. Only 4. So James is the cork in the bottle, it would appear, at this particular phase of the race. Maybe that's a case of you need to get those tyres back up, etc. They're having a nice little dice behind him, aren't they? Let's have a little look at what's going on behind. So we've got Albuquerque is directly behind us in his all-black Beamer. Then we've got Ivanov and Sergio, who look like they're having quite a little nice dice there, don't they? Let's get onto Albuquerque's view and have a look at these two. So James is quite safe in front of us. We're on board with Albuquerque in 13th, and he's got a great view of what's going on behind. It looks like there's quite a lot of stuff, actually. So I think let's get on board with Ivanov. Listen, no, I'm not going to say it, but we are going to have a listen to that lovely Aston as we come down the start-finish thread. So Ivanov is looking to put some pressure on Sergio there, and he's got Harry Goswell behind him, but he looks quite far away, and Harry looks like he's just had a move put on him by Mr. Payne. I just caught that. Yeah, that move has been done. Watch those curbs. Watch those curbs, Ivanov. They will make you pay. So Goswell, he's just lost out of position. You see that back end stepping out all over the place as he's trying to get the power down. He's just been overtaken by Payne, so he's actually down in 17th. That's just updated itself now. Fantastic. But you can see there Payne runs rather wide. If Goswell can hold a tight line and get some better speed through it on the brakes, get the car down 2 gears. Needs to be a bit braver there, I think, and swing her in. Just my opinion. Barth's winning then in the 934 Porsche. He's beginning to put some pressure also onto Mr. Goswell. And I think let's listen to the raspiness of the Porsche. Right, quickly go into live chat while we're on board with Jan. Okay, no more chats in at the moment. Good, you're all obviously glued to the action and trying to figure out what's going on here. We've got 18.5 minutes left of this first 25-minute sprint race. Up top, any changes up top? No, think Minor Hughes. Oh, Eli's just got a flag there. So, Eli's lost to space. John's moved himself up onto the podium as we see Jan just pulling out there, and Ivanov also in front pulling out as well. Just to have a quick look on Goswell and onto Payne. Again, there's not many places you can get an overtaking manoeuvre done. Goswell's definitely feeling the pressure at the moment. Definitely is feeling the pressure, isn't he? So behind these two we have got Mr. Neil Woodward. There he is in the FRL liveried McLaren, closely followed by that chap I told you who had lots of Scottish flags all over his car. There you go, there's Dal, Hangman Dal as we like to call him at FRL. He does all our live stewarding, of course, for the GT3 Fridays, and actually does an awful lot of work with the sort of really long endurance events that go on, as well as take part in the driving as well. So, as Neil gets a swapper on there, that was unlucky, Neil, unlucky mate. So Neil's had to just back off a little bit there. get his composure back. He's kept the car on the track. You can see her there. He's got it back on safely, which is all good. And that has allowed Mr. Taylor to close right up. We've got an Aston battle at the moment. So Robin Taylor closes up onto the back of Dell. Who is going to win this particular battle? Traction's got himself up to 6-7. So Eli, John. We've got someone who's out of sync now. We'll check that one out in a moment. There's Lock and Load. Post quickest lap of the race so far with a 1:35.170. That is a very good lap, Lock and Load. Well done to you. Sean Freeman's just made a move on Chris Schneider, and Chris Schneider's just taken that one back. So these two look like they're having a nice little dice as well, don't they, for 9th and 10th respectively. So again, we've got the situation. Payne's moved himself up as well, so he's beginning to use the actual physical size of that Bentley's. Evanoff thought about making a move up the inside of Sergio there as well again. So this is all down for 14th, 16th. You know, we're not talking podium positions, but it's always really, really close racing. So we were just looking at Taylor. Let's get back on board. So he's still chasing down Dal at the moment. So Dal's holding him off quite nicely. He's built himself, what kind of a gap we're talking there? 3/4 of a second. That's quite comfortable. And then Neil, after his little spin, finds himself in 21st. Michael Thomas in the 911 Porsche. There you go. He's running in 22nd place at the moment. And his team is called 911er or 911er. I don't know, call the police? I don't know what he means. But yeah, Michael is there in his Porsche down in 22nd place, looking to put some pressure on Neil. Just behind these two individuals, we have got Brecht Wilms, aka Cascanova, running in the 26 Audi. Now I know Cascanova's been doing a lot of work on liveries. It said it had been uploaded, but that I did do an upload before we came live. And that one has not uploaded, so maybe we need to do something else with the file there. Lurchies is just behind him. Remember, Lurchies unfortunately had a disconnect just as we were finishing qualifying, but managed to get back in. So I'm just glad he's in the race. I'm sure he is as well. And then currently running at the back in 25th is the 46 Audi of Michael Herbold. That is unfortunate. We don't know if we've got any incidents there that have happened to him, but he is still running, and that is the most important thing. We're looking to pick up some points. So we've got some issues there. And our man, Traction Dave, as you can see, has had a massive incident somewhere. You can see he's running slow. So that front of that Porsche does not look too happy, and he's dropped himself from 6th down to 10th. I'm going to go on board just to see what she sounds like. He's got Latinascus all over the back of him, so he could be about to lose another position. Let's see how she's handling. So he's had to wait a long time to put the power on there, but obviously came in a bit deep. As Fink Binary Hughes, we've got a potential challenge for the lead there. Yeah, Traction's definitely got damage. Can't get the power on, car's not turning in, so I'm thinking that's front suspension damage. But I need to come away from Traction for a minute, which is unfortunate because, look at this, ladies and gents. Fink Biner, as we said, he was absolutely smashed it in free practice and qualifying. He's not pulling away like he thought he would. Him and Hughes, they're dragging each other away from John and Dave Goodway at the moment. There's a 4-second gap back to John. As you can see, he's just come around there at the top of the picture, and there's Dave Goodway as well, just coming onto the start-finish straight. So, fastest lap of the race is currently held by Hughes, remember, 1:31.170, and he's only, now it's 8 tenths. He did get that down to 2, just over 2 tenths, so maybe there's a part of the track where the Beamer is a little bit stronger than the Porsche, or maybe there was a slight mistake by Mika. We don't know. Let's keep an eye on that Delta as those two continue to do battle. Yeah. No, I don't think he's quit. But he's definitely just had an issue, Chris, hasn't he? What are you up to tonight, Chris? What are you racing in? Let me know. Let me know. I might come and have a little watch, or maybe get the wheel out. Who knows? So that gap has now increased from Mika down to Lock and Load to over a second. So I think that was more a case of potentially an error from Mika rather than anything else. So John, as I said before, John's having a great race, isn't he? Look, he's up to 3rd. Puncture Pro Racing. Nice name, John. I like that. The 987 Audi. So he's currently running 3rd and sits on the podium. Crazies is running in 4th place. Having a very, very nice race at the moment. And Eli, so Eli dropped some places early on. Eli's down in 5th. Yeah, a halfway mark, no problem. We won't say the name of his team. You can see that Eli's got a few scrimps and scrapes on that beamer, so definitely been either love tapping other people or talking to the wall. Armand Duran is running in 6th in his 100 Lambo. The Clueless Racing there is up to 6th. It's a brilliant race with Cameron. Well, has Cameron got any damage? Because Cameron was 6th off the line, wasn't he? But again, he's just been very... Who's that in the pits there? I need to check that one out. But Cameron's just been very consistent as usual. Always picks up very good points in these races. Doesn't really get flustered too much. Chris Schneider, that's a bit better from you, mate. That's what I expect. Has got himself up to 8th at the moment. Although Sean Freeman is, well, he's knocking on the door, isn't he? You can see he's all over the back of him. We've got some dust being kicked up there. So these four are all getting pretty close. Gap it feels bigger than it is, to be fair. The gap, Chris, the gap. Oh no, Traction's putting acronyms in the live chat. Let me go and have a look. Traction is in the pits, is he? No, Traction's still at it. Good. Keep at it, mate. Keep at it. Let's get back on board with Chris Schneider and Freeman. Good old dice, these two, aren't they? As I say that must potentially be a track limits warning, maybe, I don't know. So we're under 11 minutes left of this first race. It's been absolutely breathless. Mika at the front has now extended his gap to just over 2 seconds. So we thought we were going to have a challenge there. I'm pretty sure we're going to have a challenge here. I think Freeman's in the best possible place because in front of him, Chris Schneider, he wants to get himself up the track as much as possible. Cameron Martin's just in front of him in the Beamer, and then you can see leading this quartet, we've got Serkan Duran. You know, this is sort of territory he's not used to being in. I'm not saying that within other leagues, but within FRL certainly. And you can see everyone's jockeying in front now, trying to pick their line, trying to put everybody off. Then they all just come together. Constantino up into turn 1, and then, well, there you go, track position. But Duran got himself a little bit out. Definitely got himself out of position there. So we'll get on board with Cameron, and we'll see if he can force a potential error. Fantastic racing as always. So Freeman 9th, Latanowskis is still running in 10th place. That's really good from him. Anything can happen with these four here, as we've been talking about. Williams is up to 11th. That's very good by him, but Albuquerque's only 3 tenths behind. And then we've got Payne. Mr. Payne. Where are you? Where are you now? It's set at 10th. Have we got past Williams? Nope, that's Ivanov. So you and Ivanov are still fighting, aren't you? And James is still out in front of that one. Good. Good. Let's get on with Serkan. Let's see how he feels with these 3 individuals almost having a dogfight behind us. You can see Cameron and Chris Schneider there. They had a little bit of a love tap, didn't they? They certainly did. Let's see if we have a round 2 on that one. You can see coming up the outside as well. Fantastic. Sean Freeman's thinking, I'm going to get involved in this because these two have got to take each other out, as these Beamers are not giving an inch. And that is brilliant from for his point of view, because that means he could just watch. So if we get on board with Freeman, and we can have a little bit of a watch of the 2 Beamers in front dueling massively for 7th and 8th place. Again, if you haven't seen, you know, I'm getting very used to our drivers in this particular series and how they are as individuals, how they react, what their kind of mentality is, and they're all quick, they're all extremely competitive. Some are a little bit more chilled out than others, some are a bit more metronomic, others, you know, emotions can run quite high. But this is brilliant watching this going on. Absolutely fabulous. Right, so we can see a bit more of the track going on here. So Vic Bynum is still your race leader with 8 minutes left to go, almost 3 seconds now over lock and load. Benson is still holding still holding 3rd place on the podium, so that's brilliant. Good ways 4th, Eli, Duran. So we're watching at the moment, watching Duran, Cameron, Chris Schneider and Freeman. But as you can see, as the shot keeps changing, there's a little red Ferrari that keeps popping up at the back of this shot, which is Latanowskis in 10th place. He's only 1.2 behind. He could yet join this battle. I don't know what I'm praying to. He could join this battle. So interesting. Then we've got a 6-second gap back towards James Williams in 11th. Still a great position for James there. He's not going to be unhappy with that. And then we've got Haynes in 12th. Evenov's 13th. They've been having a good fight, actually. We've seen that. Albuquerque's now dropped to 14th. He was just behind James, I believe, at one point. Taylor's in 15th. Oz 16th. Harry Goswell 17th, only half a second behind. Then we've got Dow and Bath. Let's get on board with that one. That looks pretty interesting. Let's go on board with Dow. Come on, Dow. So Dow in the Aston, as you can see in front of him, he's got Harry and Sergio not too far ahead. So I'm sure he's keen to try and get on the back of these two and pressurise them. But he's got to keep this Porsche behind him from Jan Bath. You know, we've seen the Porsche has got very, very good pace around this track as Goswell looks to put a move on Sergio. I believe he does, and Dow riding those curves there massively. So we've got this quartet all together as well, because Bath is involved in this. Blimey, here we go again. So we've got another 4 all together. That's either going to mean 6.5 minutes of fantastically close racing, attacking and defending and trying to pull each other this way and that, or we're going to have an incident, because you can see there the bonnet on Sergio's motor is a little bit floppy. I like to coin that as floppy bonnet syndrome. So evidently he's running with damage, which is going to affect how the car handles, more so in certain places than others. Again, this is your battle for 17th. Wow. This is your battle for 16th, 17th, 18th and 19th, isn't it? Sergio goes a little bit deep there, so I thought Dow was going to be able to put a move on. Not quite this time though. Yeah, keep him behind, get him. Remember that. This is from the Traction Dave Academy. If you go on to, if you pay him, he'll give you some lessons. If you're in this position, the advice is this: keep him behind you, get him. Fabulous. Thank you, Traction. I'm joking, he will shoot me. I think that is actually Traction behind. He will definitely shoot me. So Michael Thomas, let's have a look a bit further down the grid. So Michael Thomas is running in 20th position at the moment. He's a couple of seconds off this pace, and Dow just literally, you saw that. What a fantastic move there. A bit William Wallacey, just kind of swept past Sergio. Had no chance, and Jan wants to have a piece of that action as well into T1. So Sergio is really struggling at the moment. He has got to come under some pretty large pressure very, very shortly from Mr. Bath there in the 934 Porsche. So I don't want to miss any action, but I want to give everybody good time today. It is the last one of the season, so Michael Thomas there, he's not too far off the back of this one, is he? 2.6 seconds, he can make that up, I'm sure he can. Mr. Vilms is... wow. What I can only describe, potentially, I mean, if you look at the front of that Audi, she looks a little bit crunched up, as you can see. Finkbeiner's actually just behind him, so Breck's got to get himself lapped, unfortunately, fairly soon. I'm sure he will do the right thing and not get in anybody's way. Woodward is still running in the 999. McLaren in 22nd. Lurches is still running as well, which is good to see. At the end of the day, we want everybody to keep going. Dave's in the pits. He's had enough. He's going to be back for the next race, no doubt. And then we've got Herbert again, who is still running. So Mika Finkbeiner also has decided he wants the fastest lap of the race, so he's just done a 1:35.152, which is pretty impressive. So he's now holding that as well over Mr. Hughes. There's a 4-second gap between these two with 3.5 minutes left of this race. Can't see that really changing, so we need to find a close battle, and this is the one we've got. Chris Schneider, Cameron Martin and Mr. Freeman. Well, they just don't want to stop, do they? And why not indeed? Fantastic racing. So on board, on the back of Cameron Martin's 27 BMW, looking at Chris Schneider. Wow, Chris Schneider decided he was definitely making a move there. So a replay on that. So Chris Schneider decides, right, we're coming up to the quick bit, we're getting into a braking zone, I'm going down the inside, and well, I mean, do you know what? He was the inside, wasn't he? That's probably going to need to be looked at. He did definitely appear to be up. Whether he was 3/4 of the way up the inside or not, as per FRL rules, I think he was pretty close to that and was probably due a little bit more racing room. Although Cameron might turn around and say, well, at the end of the day, I was turning in as normal and he's just flown down the inside from nowhere. But there's no excuse for anybody to have. I suppose we have to have our situational awareness switched on at all times. So that is unfortunate. That has dropped Cameron down to 10th. Chris Schneider's 11th. The winner in all of that is this man right here, Mr. Freeman. We did say earlier on when he was sat just behind those three scrapping earlier on, he's in the best place possible, and it would appear so. He can now try, and so Neil is in front of him then, the 999 McLaren. He's going to obviously get past him. He's going to get blue flagged out the way, as you saw just happen there. So he's going to try and chase down Serkan Duran to try and bag himself a cheeky little 6th place. Who knows, it might work, might not. So Cameron's in 10th. Payne has got himself up to 11th. That is good. A little bit of appreciation between those two there. Hold that car, Mr. Freeman, as he does. I thought he was going to end up getting the back end spinning out on him there. So Chris Schneider now falls down the grid. So what's happened to Chris Schneider? Well, don't know what's happened to him. Don't know what's happened to him there. So he's just disappeared. Whether he's had an instant there. Where is he? He's nowhere to be seen. So I think that's a disconnect potentially. Have to be pretty quick if that was a rage quit. The way that looked. So what are we? 1 minute 20 left on this first one. Yeah, thank you, Dave. Great tips. I know. They are great tips, but they're very true, aren't they? I mean, if you were in that position, that is what you'd be thinking, wouldn't you? Makes sense to me. I take it you're back out for race 2. Good. Let's hear it. Leaders on the final lap. James Williams, come on, dude, get in that top 10 again. So close. You've got to be impressed with Payne. He's come through the pack very, very nicely this evening. He does like that Bentley. He drives that Bentley very, very well. And he is, so who've we got up there? So Cameron Martin is now, he wants that place back on Latanowskis. Is it going to happen though? It's only half a second. We're on the last lap. Let's see where Finkbeiner is currently. Where are you at? Okay, coming down the fast section. Okay, so he's currently still got a big old gap there. Cameron. We haven't been on the Ferrari yet. Let's get on board. Let's get on board for a couple of seconds into this bit. Probably going to see an issue now. I'm wincing because I could just feel it. I'm waiting for the contact to happen. And I think Latanowskis there probably did the more gentlemanly thing. Didn't really defend that too hard. Although, man, we should have done. Anyway, so we're on board with Mika as we're coming up towards the end of the final lap of this first 25-minute sprint race this evening, which as always has been completely breathless as Jan Barth in 18th is only 3 tenths behind Michael Thomas. I will I'll switch to that one a little bit later on actually as we're coming through the penultimate corner. So Mika, fantastic pole position, remember, and a comfortable win in the end. So congratulations, well done to you, Mika Finkbeiner, in the first of today's double header with our last round on the Super Sprint Series. Well done to you. And then let's go back. Mr. Hughes crosses the line in second place. Well done, lock and load, mate. Fantastic drive, best of the rest there. I don't think anyone's going to get anywhere near Mika today. And John Beaton, what a great drive to get on the podium. Well done to you, sir. Dave Goodway, obviously that livery warranted a 4th place. Of course it did, but well done, Crazies. Great drive from you, buddy. Eli again. You know, Eli just doesn't make many mistakes, does he? So, a 5th place for Eli. Remember, this championship is wrapped up. And then we've got Duran has come across the line. Best finish for him yet this season. Serkan Duran, impressed. Very impressed. Mr. Freeman, wow. Sean Freeman, got a great... He ended up getting 2 or 3 positions there by being in the right place at the right time, putting on enough pressure but not putting himself in danger, so to speak, which was good for him. Cameron Martin may feel aggrieved at what happened with Chris Schneider. We'll find out later on. Latanowskis ended up in 9th place, so a top 10 finish. Can't complain about that. Mr. Payne in 10th. Great drive from him coming back through the field. And James Williams might be a little bit aggrieved he didn't get in the top 10, but hey, 11th is a great result. Even off well done to you in 12th. Albuquerque 13th, and then Harry got up to 14th in the end in the number 8 AMG. That's good damage limitation there. Mr. Taylor's already in the pits, 15th. Michael Thomas finished in 16th, just ahead of Jan Barth, so that was a great debut for him in 17th place there in his Porsche. Still going around the track though. Sergio evidently had some issues on that Mercedes with his bonnet that we saw in 18th. Doubt 19th position there. Brecht finished in 20th, Neil 21st, and then Lurches was 24th, Herbert 25th, and our man Traction, well, he's here still. He's still here. That's all I'm saying. obviously had some issues. If he's in the live chat, Traction, what actually happened, mate? Let me know. So true, yeah, I will be. Hopefully I don't, yeah. Well, okay, so that gives me an inclination of what may have happened in that race. And, oh, we have a Christopher Williams in. Good evening to you, sir. Hope you are well. What have you been up to? Have the kids driven you around the bend? How was the holiday? That's more to the point. I hope you had a good time. And I believe I'll be seeing you on Friday. That might be happening, but yeah. So yeah, all good news. So there you go. That is that session dealt with. Say dealt with. Dealt with. A few little comments go up there, which is fine. But Mika, well done, mate. That was seriously impressive. Seriously impressive. We've got 9 in with us so far. If you haven't said hello, please say hello. No one's going to bite your head off. We're all happy bunch here. And obviously, if you haven't pressed like, please do. It means an awful lot to me. And it helps get all of this stuff out for Formula Racing League out to more people, get more people in. If we get more people in, we can do more events, more exposure, and we get the right type of people coming to race with us. So please do press that like button if you haven't already. I appreciate that. So we're going to move into the second 10-minute qualifying session very shortly. Will anybody kind of take the lead from the first session? Remember, Eli got out first, got a couple of laps in. Obviously, Miko is just rapid round here in his Porsche. There's no doubt about that. I don't think anyone's expecting to beat him today, if I'm being totally honest with you. But there is an opportunity for second and third. I think there's quite a few that could be in the mix there. Don't get me wrong, Lockerload had a great race there and was completely, quite happy in second place. Wasn't under any pressure, but that's not to say that couldn't happen in race 2. So we shall see. We shall see. So that was the first race done. If you've just joined us, he's going to die. Yeah, soon. Not you, as a fly. If you have just joined us, we've just completed our first 25-minute sprint race for this evening. This is round 7 of season 1 of the Super Sprint series within Formula Racing League, and well, it is the season finale really. It's already been wrapped up by Eli. We're looking at there in the 696 BMW, so it's already been done. But this track is causing some pretty good racing up and down. Unless your name's Traction, but I'll have to have a watch back of that stream, Dave, and see what actually happened, right? So you need to nail it on this one. So looks like we are in a eternal wait at the moment. Let there be light. Sorry. I do get carried away sometimes, it does happen. Right, so let's go back over here. So, who is first out the bag? Who wants to be... I bet it's Eli again, and if it is, I'm not going to watch you. It is Eli again. Oh, Dave's got out there too. And I bet that's Woody behind. Right, is it? So, Eli's first out the bag. Remember what we said, if you didn't watch the first qualifying session, if you've just sort of tuned in now, or you've some kind of notifications pop, or whatever it is, and you're just joining us, again, welcome. This is the 10-minute qualifying session. You can see the timer's already started at the top centre of your screen there. They've only got 10 minutes. It takes 2 or 3 laps to get the tyres up and running properly in your operating window on this version, which means they're going to be left with 2, maybe 3 flyers. Zandvoort of a track, as a track, again, I'll bring it up so I did earlier on. You can see it is very twisty. Yeah, there's not a lot of places where you can pass easily on Zandvoort. So if you're stuck behind other cars, Lock and Load, and then Neil Woodward, yeah, in the 999, just looking at the map. If you can't get past the individual, you're going to struggle. So qualifying is really important, and everyone's decided to bolt out at the same time, which you kind of have to do. You can't really wait. I don't think you could really wait at Zandvoort for a space. I think you've got to go out there and make your own space, however you choose to do that. So we shall see. We shall see what happens. So we watched Eli in the first one, so we're not going to watch him in the second one. Woody's out. Let's watch Woody. Let's give Neil Woodward a little bit of airtime this evening. And we haven't been on board the McLaren yet, have we? So let's do that as well. if you're watching, you're thinking, well, I've never driven on Zandvoort before. I mean, I don't know what it feels like. I don't know, you know. I've never given it a shot, or I don't know how these guys do this on a regular basis. We did a full lap guide back in the first qualifying session, so go back and watch that. That will give you an idea of what these chaps have to go through, what they need to be doing in order to put a decent lap time on the board. But again, you can see in terms of the type of corners, we've got medium speed corners. We've got some corners where you've got to be finely poised is probably the best way to describe it. When you see Niels there trying to copful an armful of oversteer, did manage to catch it but did go off, so that lap is no doubt going to be invalidated. So Eli's coming up then to complete the first one out the bag. What have you got for us, Eli? That's the question. So Eli's going to... So 35s is generally, I think, where Mika's comfortable, so that's a 35.8. Dave goes quicker, and so does Lock and Load with a 35.5. So Eli's got some work to do there, but again, you've got to think people behind will be getting the benefit of a slight toe, so that's going to give them a little bit of extra help as well. Just going to have to see where it goes, and well, your man Mika is the king of Zandvoort, there is no doubt about that, with a 1:34.862. Again, that's a full 6 and a bit, well, over 6.5 tenths quicker than Lock and Load. Traction's put in a decent lap time there as well, so that's pretty impressive from him. Traction's in third at the moment. Not too far, what's that? 15 hundredths behind Lock and Load. That is better, Traction. And then Crazy's fourth. Eli's currently fifth, the second back. Then we've got Freeman, Cameron Martin, usual suspects. Remember how the last race actually finished. Remember how they finished and the type of battles that were going on. You've probably got to see them all start in a very similar positions and just get straight back into it. Kind of, it is just like a boxing match, really, isn't it? They're just going to dust themselves off, have a quick break, and jump straight back in the ring as John goes into 6th place. Cameron 7th. Don't want to be doing that, Mr. Mika. Yellow flags out. James Williams, where is James? 15th at the moment. Not too bad there, James. Lakanowski's in the pits is 9th. Ivanov's currently in the top 10. That's good from Ivanov. Armand Duran's currently 11th. Remember, he finished the last race in 6th, so maybe he has better race pace than qualifying pace. I know a lot of drivers are like that. Taylor's in 13th at the moment, and the 21 Aston James going to cross the line. He's got to improve. He does improve, so up to 13th. That was an improvement of about 3.5, nearly 4 tenths. So well done, Mr. Williams. That was good to see. So Eli has improved already, so moved back up to 5th. 1:38.862. Your man is rapid round here. So Cascanova says, very weird you don't see my skin. Yeah, no. Tested it with Michael today and he could see it. That is odd, Cass. But I did want to keep my eye out for it. Now the same thing happened last week with Crazies. And I'd synced, you know, made sure I got the latest version and synced it up. And it said everything was fine. And it didn't show last week. And then obviously again I've gone in today and I've redone another sync, because I knew you'd done your one, and his one has come up fine, but yours hasn't. Maybe next week. I don't know, buddy. I don't know, mate. I can only apologise, but we'll get there. We shall get there. So I think by now, Hughes, Traction, John, wow, Mr. Taylor. That is an impressive lap time. So Taylor's put his Aston into 5th place. Wasn't fighting in the top 5 earlier on, and Eli improves there to go up into 4th. So we do have your sort of usual suspects. Then you've got Crazies in 7th. Chris Schneider, that's better. He's going to start 8th. Remember, he had a really big battle with Cameron Martin in the last race, and they did end up touching, which probably affected both of their race finishes. They're currently alongside each other in 8th and 9th on the grid. Could be interesting, couldn't it? Potentially. Even off Freeman, Letanowskis, Payne's in 13th, Barth's up to 14th, that's good from Barth. Lurchies, there we go, 15th, that's better. Hopefully he won't disconnect this time before the end of the session. Williams is in 16th, Duran's 17th. I think our man Duran's going to be stuck in traffic because that pace is not what he showed us in race 1 at all. Harry Goswell in 18th still at the moment, 2.5 seconds further back. Albuquerque's 19th, Dow's 20th. And then we've got Neil Woodward, who was on board with early on. He is in 21st, Herbert's 22nd, and Sergio is currently 23rd. Brett's 24th. There we go. It's annoying. His livery is fantastic. It is really good. And Michael Thomas there is currently running at the back of 25th. So those two haven't set a time, but no doubt are going to. Let's have a look then at our man, Mr. Wilms, in the 26 Audi, currently to set a time, and he's pulled over because he in fact, don't let him through. He's going to hold you up now. I'm joking. You're a gentleman, that's what you are. Okay, 8 with us. Good evening, everyone. I'm sure you've been with us for the whole program so far, but if you haven't, we're just finishing up. So Brett's got himself a one-shot, one down. We're going to stay on. We're going to stay on and see what Cass can do in his... well, he could. I doubt he's going to get another lap in. He could do, but he needs to have some serious pace to get a lap in there. And that Audi, she looks a little bit of a handful. I think Mr. Thomas is just behind him as well. John's gone off somewhere, so he's got himself a yellow currently at the moment. So Eli 3rd, Traction's 4th, John 5th, Taylor 5th, Goodway, Schneider, Martin, Payne. Come on, man, I'm reading these names off and you've got to be going, well, he's fast, he's fast, he's really fast, he's really fast. Oh, they're all really fast. Indeed they are. Indeed they are. Come on, Cass. Oh, Cass has binned it. Okay, so Caskanova's not going to finish his lap there. That is unfortunate. That is really unfortunate. So he parks up next to Payne. That was a bit painful. Michael Thomas then, has he completed his lap? Not yet. Let's see what he can do. And then we'll have a look through the order. We've got 25 seconds left of this qualifying session. It's a fantastic view, this one, to really see all the bumps, the undulations in the road, which you wouldn't normally see when you're looking at the camera angles, to get an appreciation for how that's actually going to affect the car as he comes across the start-finish line. And there we go, he gets a time on the board. Well done, Michael Thomas. Well done, mate. 22nd for you in the 911 Porsche. That is good to see. I'm happy about that. Well done, mate. Well done indeed. So qualifying is finished. I need to have a look at this. So Finkbeiner is your pole position man at the moment. We are on the wait time, so we do have some individuals who can finish a lap. Even off is one of those, and Traction Dave in 4th place is also one. But as it stands, Finkbeiner's got himself in another pole position by just over 3/10 to Lock and Load. Mr. Hughes in 2nd. Eli's currently 3rd, but he's only 8 thousandths ahead of Traction Dave, so that's obviously why he has gone again. Even is trying to set the quickest lap time in the pit lane. By the look of it, that was some good driving. So is Traction going to snatch 3rd place away from Eli? Let us find out indeed. But John's currently in 5th. Ryan Taylor's in 6th. He's pitted, so he's finished. Goodway 7th has finished. Chris Schneider 8th. Cameron Martin 9th. And Traction just not getting any love at the moment, is he? Out of that car. So Finkbeiner, Hughes, Poe. Traction stays 4th place. John's in 5th. Taylor's 6th. Great qualifying session by him. Goodway 7th. Chris Schneider's 8th. Cameron's 9th. And Payne is 10th. That is a seriously quick top 10. Then we've got Latanowskis, Duran. Those two finished in the top 10 in the last race, remember. Evanoff is quick. Freeman finished, well, he had a very, very good race. And then we've got Barth, well, fantastic in 15th. Lurchies, James Williams, Sergio Oz 18th, Goswell 19th, Dow and Albuquerque are 20th and 21st. Drive. Sorry, talking to myself there, aren't I? Where did we get to? Albuquerque 21st, Michael Thomas 22nd, Woodward's 23rd, Herbert's 24th, and Brett is in 25th. So, again, we're now just in the wait time. We've got a couple of minutes, so that gives everybody a little bit of a breather. In terms of the track, it's dipped slightly. It's 21 degrees ambient, 24 on tracks. That's 1 degree less on each, but that is only going to be in their favour, because that's going to mean the tyres aren't going to be screaming as much. They can be pushed a bit harder, and obviously that 21 ambient is going to allow those engines to breathe a little bit more, and they can get those horses developing. Yeah. So Caskanova's in the live chat, everybody, and he says there was a pigeon flew in through my window and sat on my laptop, and that's why I crashed. No, he didn't really. No, of course he didn't. No, what did he say? He said, no need to follow me tonight. I'm not following you. I'm following everybody, Cass. It's fine, dude. It's totally fine, mate. He's laughing now. Put it on the side because I left the stream open, so you saw me. It works. See, that's what we like. No, I'm joking. Right, I won't watch you in the race at all then, if that's what you want. I mean, that's just... Right, let's start on Cass. Right, let's start on Cass at the back. That's it. Going to start on Cascanova, because there we go. We're going to watch him. We're going to see what his launch is like. Neil's in front. In fact, yeah, let's start at the back for a change. Everyone's always like to see what's going on the front. I hope the front is clean. They're all fantastic drivers, but they're all fantastic down here as well. And that's what I want to see. Cascanova, you're a genius. Thank you so much. Right. 8 of you in still this evening. We are just about to get the formation lap underway for the final offering of this Super Sprint series. This is race 2 of round 7. It's been a brilliant first series, I have to say. If you're interested in getting involved in this, if you've seen what the standard of the racing is like, then please get involved. Go onto the website, go onto SimGrid. You won't miss us. We're the second biggest group on there. You won't miss us on there. You can get involved. It's really easy. It's just a license. It's not difficult to do. And come and get on board. It's great. And if you're a bit more of a newbie, or you're not that confident, you're just starting out on the league racing, that's totally cool. We've got the rookie season where you can do that, which is about clean driving and, you know, building your racecraft more. I don't mean total noob, but, you know, that's fantastic. And if you want something which isn't sprints and you're a little bit more of a tactical individual, then we've got the Endurance Friday, we've got the GT3 Fridays, which is the hour race with pit stop, and there's lots of specials that go on, and endurance races, so no one's got any excuse really. So, Cascanova, what are you going to do? Have I just... oh dear. Well, I tell you what has just happened. For the first time this evening, I've actually just glimpsed. So I'm looking at the live chat, and obviously I focus on that and focus on the software, yeah, which I have to do. And I have just for the first time this evening actually looked at the stream as it is, and something rather odd has happened to my camera overlay there, which I really do apologise for. That looks amateur. That will be fixed. That will be fixed as soon as this stream is finished, because that's annoyed me straight away. I do apologise about that, everybody. So let's forget about that. Let's focus on the race. So we're hoping for a clean getaway for Mika and Co at the front, but I want to see just something different. Let's do it a little bit different. I want to see what's going to happen at the back. So 7 of you still with us. You don't want to miss this, guys. It's 25 minutes. It's got to be absolute carnage, not Wreckfest carnage. It's got to be brilliant racing. Listen to those pops. Listen to those pops and those screams of that Audi. Beautiful sounding car as everyone starts to form up. And now everyone's having their own little race just to get to the start-finish line. Go, go, go. Lurchy, it's time to hardwire the PC. Have you had another disconnect, mate? Or not? Oh, you have. Yeah, I think you need to invest yourself, mate, in a rather large cable. Yeah, that's a shame, Lochies. P15 was a really good qualifying session for you there, mate. But it will come, dude. It will come. It's just you can't help that. So anyway, they're all lined up now, ladies and gents. This is the final instalment of the season finale. 25-minute sprint race at Zandvoort. We're green. We're on board with Cascanova. We want to see it happen. Oh, we've already got... That was Michael Thomas, who looked like he touched Dow. They went 3 wide there. Let's see that again, because that was just crazy. So Michael Thomas trying to squeeze through between Dow. Ouch. Ouch, ouch, and ouch. And that wasn't going to happen. That put those two all out of shape. And yeah, it's a shame. Didn't even get to the first turn, did they? Anyway, so back to Brett Williams as he makes his way through the field. Looks to put a move there. Who's that in front of him? That's Woodward. So he looks like he's going to get a move done on Woodward as well. He does. He gets past. So Albrecht doesn't want me to watch him in this race at all. Finds himself currently up a few places, up into 21st. Again, remember, as Traction Dave was saying earlier on in the academy notes, yeah. Oh, who's that getting all out of shape? Sergio Oz. So we've got a nice gaggle in front of us. That looks like Duran Oz Goswell as Williams puts another move down. Did he get in front? Has he managed to hold that one? He'll be on the outside now, but he's trying to hold the outside line there. I know we should change camera angle. That would be more helpful. So again, I know it's the first lap. We've got loads of stuff going on up front. So Finkbeiner, according to this, is still leading. Hughes is still second. Eli third. John is fourth. Robin Taylor, Traction Dave looks like he's might have had an issue there. We will have a look at that in a moment. But I'm going to complete this lap. Well, we have completed the lap, haven't we? So, right, let's move. See ya, Brett. Thanks, mate. Oh, as Cameron's off track there. Cameron's gone flying off the track. So he's obviously had an issue, and we have got full elbows out. Look at this. I told you this was going to be crazy because Taylor's getting involved here. Traction Taylor, that's Payne and Goodway. Oh my word, was that Payne? See, now I have to say, Mr. Payne, that was... Watch the Bentley up the inside. Look, he's just going for it, and he's not in control there. He's never stopping. I don't know if that's an issue between him and Taylor, but that didn't look too good anyway. So Traction's up into 5th place. Who's behind Traction? So we've got Goodway's there. So Latinauskas moved up. Chris Schneider there looks like he wants to try and put a move on Latinauskas. Let's have a look at him. We had a very brief look at him at the end of the last race. We've got opportunity here to have more of a look as we go into the right-hander. He's going to be on the outside. If he tries to turn in there, he's going to get tagged. They give each other enough racing room. Well done, you and Chris Schneider there. This is the battle for 6th place. This is allowing Traction to scamper away in 5th. And at the front, it's just under a second between Mika and Lock and Load. Eli's in 3rd place, 2 seconds further down, but he's got John all over the back. Remember, John finished 3rd in the last race, so he's sensing a double podium potentially. We're on board with Latinauskas now in 6th place in a 323 Ferrari, who finished in the top 10 in the last race and is continuing on that good form. Again, a lot of it is about making sure that you stay clean, and that's even off there as Finkbeiner puts in the quickest lap of the race of 35.282. And we're having a look now at Ivanov running in 8th place, looking to close down Chris Schneider and Latinauskas and put some pressure on these two, but he's got good weight just behind him. We know Dave's got good pace around here, so evidently was involved in that issue, not his fault I should say, with Taylor and Payne, which was a bit unfortunate to be honest with you. Chris Schneider gets a big wobble on. That's going to give him a chance, but you see his steering wheel, he's soaring away at that, so Ivanov is really trying to keep hold of that Aston. I did think there'd be an opportunity there because Chris Schneider went wide. You saw him get a bit of a slide on, but nothing came in the end, so we will go back. Dave Goodway closes it down all the time in his rather colourful McLaren. So this is your top 9, and Sergio is 10. So how far back is Sergio? Only a second further back. And there's your top 10. James Williams, we're going to have a look at you in a moment, my friend, in the 41 Mercedes, is threatening the top 10 yet again. So remember, he finished 11th in the last race. I'm sure he would love to stick that Mercedes into the top 10. He's 3/4 of a second behind Sergio. He's got a 3/4 of a second gap back to Cameron. Now, Cameron Martin, we know he's quick. We did see he was involved in that incident earlier on, so he's going to be desperate to get himself back up the field. Dow's running in 13th, Duran's 14th, only just under 2 tenths behind him. And then Mr. Wilms, Albrecht is up to 15th. Nicely done, Brecht. Nicely done indeed. So we've got Cameron sticking his nose out and then puts his nose back in place. So starting to put on a little bit of pressure to James in this battle to get into, well, to have an opportunity to get into the top 10. And then behind them we're seeing Duran in his massively colourful number 100 Lamborghini there with Williams and Goswell. Payne's in 17th, Bart's 18th, and then we've got Taylor's in 19th. Lurchie's managed to get out, but he's had 2 disconnects today, which has really not helped him. Woodward's in the pits, Herbert is running, as is Michael Thomas. Like that. Albuquerque's in 24th, and Freeman running? No, Freeman's in the pits. He's probably not going to be happy, no doubt. Albuquerque is still running, so maybe I don't think Albuquerque was involved in that. There you go, that's Mr. Thomas, and Neil's in the pits. Neil, if you come onto the stream, mate, let me know what happened. Let's have a quick look in here. Good luck, boys. Time tied wire P15. Yeah, we got CS Racing. Good to see you again, Lurchies. CS Racing, hope. And Rafa's in. Hello, Rafa. Good evening, sir. Hope you are well. Hope you're well, buddy. Looking forward to some more Friday action this week. I certainly am. And Goodman says, hi all, it's been a good wee race. It has been a good race, although I have noticed there's a massive error on my stream, Chris. But yes, it has been a good race. Good first race was fantastic. This one's definitely had incidents at the beginning. As we can see, Mika is still just holding, he's holding Lock and Load off at the moment. It's just over a second the gap there. And Mika's also holding the quickest lap of the race currently with a 34.847. Eli is holding third quite nicely. How far? Well, but for how long? Because John had a fantastic race, didn't he, in the last one, and finished on the podium. And he's just, look at that, he's just swung by Eli. And Eli's trying to put that pressure back on. Is it going to happen? Is he going to manage to get a move done? Is he going to manage to force John into making a mistake into one of these braking zones? He's got 17 3/4 minutes to figure something out, is all I'm going to say. But I've got a feeling John's quite happy sitting in third place again after getting on the podium in the last race. So we'll see what transpires there. Traction Dave's currently in 5th place, as you can see there, in a 609 Porsche, just behind Eli, about 1.8 down the road. So he's going to close that gap. Latanowskis is still saying he's in 6th, is he? No, he's not in 6th. Well, he might be, and that's someone that they're lapping at the moment. Chris Schneider's actually just put a move on Latanowskis to move up into 6th place. As you can see, we've got quite a group here. A good way. Well, he's not letting up, is he? So Latanowskis is the guy who's having the issue at the moment. He's the one in the middle. He's in the sandwich. We talk about this every time we go live, what it's like to be in that position. He's just lost a place, so he wants that place back. Crazies is behind him. Crazies wants to put himself up the field a bit more, and will probably feel, no disrespect to Latanowskis there, will feel based on qualifying that he should be quicker. But he did have a very good race pace in the last one, did Latanowskis, so we'll see if he can continue that as these three. Oh, easy boys, you don't want to be touching that curb, as we said in the lap guide. And Chris Schneider goes wide, so that, oh dear, it gets turned around. So Chris Schneider probably, let's have a replay on that. So Chris Schneider goes in there, he goes a bit wide on the marbles. Does he turn? No, so Latanowskis just tags the rear end of him. You saw that there. And that's those two out of the way. So Dave Goodway elevates himself up to 6th. Well, Hank, you can only do what you can do. So I think Chris Schneider's going to be probably a bit annoyed. That's happened to him a couple of times. And Eli, where's Eli? Eli's going slowly there, down in 5th. So Eli's had an issue. Traction Dave, well, according to my screens, Traction Dave is now up into 3rd. And that is John just behind him in the Aston. Fantastic. So, well, not for Eli, but Traction will certainly feel a little bit happier with that he could potentially get onto the podium this evening. What was the error? I started stalking the time. Yeah, well, so you should do. Van Rees is in. Hello, Michael. I hope you're well, mate. Good to see you, sir. I was hoping to see you racing tonight in that Porsche of yours, but evidently not. And Rafa's stalking the times for next week. Rafa, watch it back, man. You need to look at some of these guys. What's the error? Well, something's happened with my background on the screen, Chris. You can see that my overlay is nowhere near in the right place. I have no idea how that's happened. So apologies for the amateurness there. I'll have to fire someone in the production team. The wife. No, not really. Beamer isn't the strong. No, it's not. Definitely not. Not the strongest. But to be fair, Finkbeiner out up front. He is sort of the same, Mr. Van Rees. You should have been out in your Porsche. Finkbeiner's absolutely blitzed through practice. Q1 pole. Easily won the first race. Poled the second race, and he's out there. Don't get me wrong, lock and load is definitely keeping him honest, but I don't know how much Mika is really pushing, to be fair. And they're coming up behind the 911 and Michael Thomas now in his Porsche. He's going to get a lap put on him, but it's good to see traction up there. It's good to see traction. Him and John could have a nice dice now, and I'm sure Eli's going to get back involved with that, because we know Eli's pretty rapid there. Chris Schneider's just made a move on James Williams, and James Williams wants to fight back. Does he have what it takes? Come on, Mr. Williams. You're fighting. You're in the top 10. Cameron Martin's in 8th, even off 7th. Again, you know, it's just like, it's good drivers, man. It's a good list of drivers. Very good list of drivers. And Chris Schneider, well, he's been involved in a couple of shunts this evening. Thankfully, there's nothing on it in terms of the title or anything like that, but he's still fighting. He still wants to get a decent result out of this one, as they all do, with 13.5 minutes left to run of the final session for this season, for the Super Sprint Series. Thought it was deliberate. Yes. Thank you. Yes, very much. I'm going for a artistry type thing. Had dinner with some friends. That's, well, you know what? Good. I'm glad you had dinner with some friends. That's what it's all about. It's all about. Gutted that I've got taco. Yeah, I know, mate. I know. Well, it's got to be difficult for me as well, Chris, when they do the full update, and if they get the broadcast to work, it's not going to be an easy choice for me either. Although got to be fair, I am obviously now getting to know these guys very well and understand their habits and how they drive and all those great things as well. So anyway, Chris Schneider, he is slowly closing down to Cameron Martin now. Oh dear, oh dear. So even off, as you can see, I need to change to even off. Right, so even off, he's putting up a spirited defence at the moment over Cameron Martin, who I think he's just dumped. I was going to say Cameron's probably just jumped down the inside of him and has got that move done. So Evanoff's been forced into a mistake. James Williams there, you can see the Mercedes behind these two is also putting a move on Evanoff, so he's lost himself 3 places there from one mistake. I did say at this track it's very tight, it's very twisty, it's very difficult to overtake, but such is the competition within the server. Everybody is pretty close together, and he's just lost 3 places. Now, the point I was trying to get to was Cameron Martin, that we're currently watching in the 27 BMW in 7th, and our man just behind him, which we'll have a look at there. The guy, there you go, in the white and black Beamer, Mr. Chris Schneider in the 14. Those two have had a couple of incidents this evening already, and it looks like there's a battle going on behind them further back. That looked like Evanoff was trying to make a move. Evanoff is trying to put a move on Sergio Oz there, and then you've got Duran just behind them with Mr. Wilms. I'm not going to look at Brecht. Remember, Cascanova said at the beginning does not want me to look at him in this race because he hasn't really practiced, as Harry Goswell puts a move on according to my time on screen. Anyway, so Cass is doing great actually, look at him. Up into 14th, Goswell 15th, Payne, Taylor, Bath, Dow's in 19th, Lurchie's 20th, then we've got Herbert Thomas, Albuquerque. But the point is, these two chaps here in the Beamers, Cameron and Chris Schneider, they've traded paint a couple of times this evening. That's all I'm saying. So hurry up and get together, boys, so we can have an awesome 10 minutes. So Finkbeiner is still leading this race, just again done the quickest lap of the race with a 34.847. Lock and Load's in second place. Traction's third. Is he closing that gap down at all? Let's have a little look, see. So 2 seconds-ish between Mika and Lock and Load. Traction's third. John is 3/4 of a second-ish behind. So that's 11 seconds between second and third. That's not going anywhere soon as Chris Schneider goes for a little wander across the salmon there. Maybe he was trying to go and have a little break, a little holiday. Come on, Williams. Push. Right, Sergio has got a ball with Sergio because he looks like he's right slap bang in the middle or something, doesn't he? This chap behind him, Armand Duran, Serkan Duran, he is really quick, and we can see Cass is behind as well. So we'll see their battle develop, and all the while we're going to see Sergio. If we see a little Aston anywhere around us in front, we know he's looking to put a move on Ivanov. Battle to get into the top 10. So sorry, 13th place is Latanowskis, not Brecht Wills. That was a mistake by me. Sean's in. Hello, Sean. Over 30 seconds of damage. Shame to end the last race with a DNF, but not much I could have done. Yes, that is correct. Top 3, Michael, in race 1 was Finkbeiner, Hughes, and John. Benton was your top 3. They were your top 3. And Sean had a brilliant race, actually. He was sat behind 2, and he was watching them dice. I think it was Cameron and Chris Schneider. He was watching them having a battle, and I did say I thought he was just doing the right thing, and eventually, inevitably, when something happened in front, he really took advantage and got himself up into 6th place. So Sean, but it's great to see you in there, mate. It's unfortunate, but it's all good. It's all good, buddy. You can just chill out now. Right, as these 3 are at it yet again. So Sergio has got himself come out of that corner pretty slowly, and him and Duran are having their own little dice again. And you just see how the Ferrari was leaning over there again, just showing you the detail that they go into in terms of how these cars behave in the simulator. It's absolutely fantastic. So Sergio is desperately trying to cling on to 11th place. Is he catching up? Well, realistically, he wants to try and catch Ivanov, doesn't he, to get into the top 10, but that, well, is that going to happen? Don't know. Let's see it from that view instead. Let's get down low. It's just the Aston. She's so dirty. She really is. So Payne's got himself up to 14th. Goswell's in 15th. Armand Wilms. Wilms is 16th at the moment. Taylor 17th. Jan Barth is in 18th. We will go and start having a look at these other fights, but I mean these are pretty good battles we're watching at the moment, aren't they? Yeah, she does. She does, Michael. And do you know what? You see it. Oh, and there we go. So those 2. Oh, get back on there. Let's see a replay of that one. Let's get a replay of what happened here. So Duran and Oz. So Duran dinks down the inside, and Oz obviously doesn't think he's going to do that, and obviously takes the normal racing line to come across there. But again, I did say this earlier on when we saw another crash, love tap earlier on. I did say that the onus on the drivers for their situational awareness, it's no one out. It's not up to anybody else. We've got to be looking at what's going on around us. As well, I think Duran has given up the ghost there, to be honest with you, which is a shame because he had a brilliant first race. Really impressed with his qualifying on both sessions and was having a good race. But let's have a look at Armand Jan Barth in the 934 Porsche for colon cancer awareness. That's the team that he's racing in again. Fantastic team, obviously something very, very worthy to be racing for. And if you're raising money, well, you need to be having a chat with some of our guys, because I'm sure, as unnice as that subject is, I'm sure that everybody knows somebody that's been affected by the Big C. Yeah, always a worthy cause. So anyway, we won't talk too much about that. I can see that happen. Yeah, I bet you could, Sean. So could I. I called it, as always. So we're looking at Jan in brilliant 16th place, trying to chase down Taylor. Now, I remember Taylor in his Aston. I mean, did he qualify 5th or 6th? Had a really strong qualifying session for this race, and then obviously got into a rather large crash, which has seen him fall down the field. We've got just under 6 minutes left. Dow's running in 18th place. As you can see, Taylor took a little bit extra grass and dirt there, which has put him offline. going to make his tyres a little bit dirty. So let's see. Let's get in the eyes. Let's get in the eyes of Jan. Or Jan, probably. Probably saying that one wrong today. Come on. Let's make a move. You've got 5.5 minutes. Let's do it. Let's not mess about. Let's not mess about. Excuse me there, right, so no change at the front, top 3 is the same. John is a second now behind Dave, so he's elongated that gap. Eli's still in 5th. Crazy's has got to 6th, that's nice. Cameron and Chris Schneider, they're pretty stagnant with their gap now, so they look like they're just going to race to the end. Williams is in 9th. That may be, I mean, I'll have to go back and check, or maybe some kind of oracle that's already on can tell me, but that might be James Williams' best finish of the season. Ooh, as Jan gets, we saw the back end, definitely went light on that Porsche there. Probably a bit of lift off oversteer, that's what that one looked like, to be honest with you, but gets her back into control, and he's now going to have to fight to get that one back. So we shall come away from that one for the moment. Where else have we got? That's a close battle. Wow, it's Mr. Payne. Let's have a look at Payne. We haven't really... Oh, who's that gone off? I missed that, didn't I? Of course I did. That looked like Taylor went off, to be honest with you. Where is Payne? There he is. Mr. Payne. Currently running in 12th, putting the pressure on. So we've got the Boatley versus the Merc, 2 rather large vehicles. They take up a lot of track, these two, to be honest with you, don't they? Get them out of the way, and well, here we go. The challenge will come. You know, again, if you've been watching this particular series, you know that Payne will make a move if one is available to him. And that was Wilms in the background getting a total tank slapper on there in his Audi, not that one, the one behind him. I just saw it in the background, left to right he was going, but he's kept it on track, which is good. And what have we got? 3.5, just under 3.5 minutes left. Again, this is the last round. This is the last part of this double header for this particular season in Super Sprint Race. I'd actually like to know in the comments, guys and girls, do you want to see this one back? Have you enjoyed this series? Is there anything you would change on this series? We'll always like to get feedback and think about different ideas, put our heads together. As Thinkbine has evidently had an issue at top because Lock and Load finds himself in 1st place. Well, I mean, why would you do that? Why would you do that to me? So let's just stay on board and enjoy this one. Let's see who I have dubbed the Master of Zandvoort, which would be Mika. Let's see if he can get a move done on Lock and Load. Probably 2 laps left to go. There you go, we've got a battle at the front. Let's enjoy it. BMW versus Porsche. Normally, I would just generally say, well, my money is 100% on Thinkbiner here, given what we've watched. But I was going to say, we know Lock and Load is a very, very good driver. Yeah, he knows what he's doing. But he did just make a mistake there. Let's get right underneath that BMW. Let's see. Let's just watch how the cars move around. You know, you don't appreciate just how bumpy these surfaces are, and with all the undulations and divisions, all the car, just the back end of that being just kind of skidding. Oh, did they touch? They didn't. That was definitely squeaky bum time by Mika. No doubt about that. He was stamping as hard as he could without locking up. So great driving. This is going to go to the last lap. I think he's going to try and put himself in a position where he makes Lock and Load make a mistake. I think that is what we've got lined up here. Nothing between them. So on board with the Beamer, looking back at the Porsche. Controlled, considered driving here. Who's your money on, guys? Jamie's best finish was P10. Yeah, it was. So I think James could usurp that tonight, Michael, because he is in 9th at the moment, isn't he? So let's see. Leaders on the final lap. We know we are on board. We're not missing this one. Brilliant racing. All the way down to the wire. So John's actually managed to put a move on traction as well. Look at that. So we've got, so the top 4, they've all swapped over in terms of where they sit at the moment. So you can see that Mika went deep there because he wanted to try and get on the throttle earlier to get a better run. He's going to have a little bit of tow. What's going to happen, guys and girls? Are we going to have contact? Are we going to have a move done? Is lock and load just going to provide the most almighty defence to hold off Mika? You can see Mika's getting on the throttle there. The back end was just breaking traction slightly. Nice and considered, nice and calm at the moment from JR, which is 100% what I expect. But Finkbeiner, he is rapid in that Porsche. We saw at Laguna Seca, he was definitely going to put a move on Michael if it wasn't for Vappenheim getting in the way. But we don't have long to go on this lap. We've got a couple of corners. Well, this one, we need to navigate this one. Who's going to get off and running? I think I'd be parking it right now. I have to say, there'd definitely be some apex hugging, and maybe a bit slow on the throttle potentially, just to back the one up slightly and then let me have an opportunity to get an extra couple of yards. So we come out of the final corner. It's an absolute mad dash to the line. Dal, I thought was going to get taken out. What a finish. And that epitomises the sprint series, doesn't it? Come on, these two. 1/10 between them. Lock and load. Well done, mate. That was fabulous. Dow's in on the stream having a little flash. Dirty Dow. And Finkbeiner, well done. You guys made a brilliant finish to the series there. And John's making a habit, isn't he? John and Traction pull over together also, right next to each other. John finishes third. 2 podiums for John. That's impressive. Traction at least had a better race there. Wasn't getting punched everywhere, pillar to post. Eli has finished in 5th. Well done, Eli. Congratulations on taking the championship anyway. Fantastic drive from you this season. Mr. Goodway in that beautifully liveried Mercedes McLaren finishes in 6th. Cameron Martin in his abstract artist Beamer finishes in 7th. Chris Schneider in 8th. Glad to see that they're not next to each other in the pit lane at the moment. James Williams with a season, career, lifetime best finish in a grid of this standing in 9th. Well done, Mr. Williams. That was fantastic. Even off a very, very solid 10th place for you in your Aston Martin. Payne managed to get himself up to 11th ahead of Sergio, so I did say if a move present he would take it. Looks like he did. Latinowski has finished in 12th, just in front of Brecht Wilms. Remember, started last, finished nicely up the grid there. Well done in 14th. Jan Barth in 15th. Well done, Jan. Great to have you with us. Great to have you with us this evening. I hope that bodes for more of that. Harry Goswell, unfortunate there in the number 8 AMG. Didn't have his best evening, but I think if you get a couple of those tracks sorted out, or different ones for next season, you'll be challenging at the top there. Mr. Adam Lurchie's finished in 17th in the end. Couple of disconnections that didn't help him this evening. And Dow, well, we saw Dow got absolutely smashed up at the beginning of this race, but carried on anyway, as you would expect, and finished in 18th. So well done to you, Dow. Michael Herbert 19th, Michael Thomas 20th. Then we had Albuquerque 21st, and Woodward don't think he completed that one. So there you go, ladies and gents. That was mental. As always, Tuesdays. That was your Season 1 complete for the Formula Racing League Super Sprint Series. I think that's been a massive success. 2 25-minute sprint races. I hope you would all agree with that. And anybody that is still watching that hasn't pressed like, please do so now. That's it for me. Congratulations to everybody. John, congratulations for the double podium. Mika, that pace was rapid all night. And Lock and Load, you found a way. You found a way to win that race. Well done to you. That's really, really good driving, everybody. I will be on the podcast tomorrow evening. So, Dal, I told you last week, I will be on the podcast tomorrow night. We do a roundup of this season. I'll be back on Friday for the Pure Sim Gear GT3 Fridays. That's coming to a head. There's some really good, there's a lot on the line in both of those titles for the Pro and the AM class. So I'll be back on Friday, and then obviously I've got a bit of a break, so I'm 2 or 3 weeks on a bit of a holiday, because you guys, you keep me talking for too long, too many months. So I appreciate everybody in the live chat this evening. Thank you for taking the time to watch. Thank you for taking the time to post a comment on there. I really appreciate it. Hopefully you've enjoyed the show, and there will be plenty more of that on Friday. So, last thing from me this evening, Comms by Coops, out.